Good morning, everyone. This week, our work is going to look a little different than in the previous couple of weeks. We will still have the journal entry, reading log, and 2 assignments. This assignment, however, is in the form of a Google Slides document or presentation. And so some pages are notes pages. And then some pages there will be spots for you to type in answers and respond to questions. I'm just going to do a quick run through of what it looks like. So the story you're reading this week is Icarus and Daedalus. It is a Greek myth, if you can't tell by the giant words Greek myth on the screen. Here's a note page. But you notice there is a question here. This is like a normal question I would have asked you in class. But because I can't ask you over the internet, I'm asking you here. So what you'll do is where it says type your answer here, is you'll click, just kidding. You have to not be in the presentation or it's going to go. Is you'll click there and you'll see the text box pops up and you'll just erase where it says type your answer here and you'll type in your answer. Undo that. More notes. And then we have 3 vocabulary slides. So on your vocabulary slides, what you're going to do is, the word is in the middle, captive. You can look in the story and see how the word is used, or you can look up in the dictionary and to get a definition. And remember, you do have online dictionaries that you can use. You don't have to have a physical dictionary in front of you. And you're going to do these 4 things. So the first one you're going to do is you're going to use the word in a sentence. And you don't have to do this in order. You can do whichever one is easiest first, and then follow it with the next easiest, and the next easiest, and then the hardest one last. Or you could start with the hardest, and then go easier from there. Or you could just do whatever feels right to you as you're doing this. So you'll just, like on the other one, you'll click and you'll see the text box pop up, erase where it says type text here. You don't have to take off the highlighting. You can leave the highlighting on, that way your answer stands out. Or you can take the highlighting off if it bothers you. I'm not super picky. I think y'all should know that by now. I'm not going to take off for something silly like highlighting your answer. The next page is the story page. So I put the story onto the slide right here. You just click right there on where it says page 1. It's going to pop up right here, and then you'll click on it and the story will open. Because I was unable to get the story from the book to copy over correctly, I had to do this a little differently. So if for some reason you're having a hard time opening the story, just send me an email and I will send it directly to you. I'm pretty sure that I've done it correctly, and I've opened up the sharing settings so that everyone should be able to view it. As long as you're viewing it from your Medina Valley email. If you're on your private Gmail account that you made at home, it won't open because it only will open to people on the Medina Valley network. But when you open up the story, notice all 3 vocabulary words are on the first page. So you're not going to have to look very far to get your examples from the story. And then there's page 2. And then something a little different on this one is if you want to read it and follow along with the story, Miss Young, some of y'all might remember her from, she's covered my class a couple times. She has the story on her, she made a YouTube video for you where she reads the story to you, and she follows along in with the story. So you could just watch the YouTube video and follow along as she goes. And then your questions, instead of having them in a Google Doc, they're here. And the same thing. I mean, you'll click, instead of having individual text boxes for them, they are in just like one big text box. So as you type, it's going to move the next question down. So if you just click the delete button, it'll go back up. And I'll just undo that. And so there's 1, 2, 3 pages of questions. 4 pages of questions, sorry. I did try to pair up the questions by like category. So these first couple are just quick comprehension questions. So what was the lesson taught in the story, and is the lesson relevant today? So Greek myths are taught, a myth is an ancient story passed from one generation to the next. Myths often describe the actions of gods, heroes, or the causes of natural phenomena. Every culture has its own collection of myths. Myths will often teach us a lesson. So they're more than just stories. They contain important messages about life. When we read ancient myths now, we learn about the values of the cultures that created them. For instance, in the myth of Pandora, Pandora was the first woman created by the gods, and they gave her a box she was never to open. But because of her curiosity, she couldn't resist opening it, and when she did so, she released all the evils of humanity: greed, anger, despair, and at the end, the last thing to leave the box was hope. So even though all these crazy, terrible things left the box, they still had hope. And so the lesson taught here was, despite all the evils in life, we always have hope to get us through things. And there's a couple of lessons there, really. But is that a lesson that is only relevant to ancient Greece? Or is that a lesson that is relevant throughout time? Is it relevant today? I would say yes. So, after you read Icarus and Daedalus, you'll see what was the lesson taught, and is that lesson relevant? What situation, continuing with comprehension questions, what situation did Daedalus and Icarus need to escape? What solution did Daedalus come up with? And what happens to each character at the end of the story? So these questions are going to require a little bit more thought on your end. So, do Icarus's actions reflect his youth, or do they reveal a character flaw? So, is this something that happened because he's young and didn't know better? Or is it something in his character that made him do what happens? What ideas about youth does this myth convey? Explain with text evidence. So make sure you're using your text evidence, because it says it right there. So give me your answer and then say, as it says in the text on line 32, how did Daedalus's personal strengths contribute to his tragedy? Does Daedalus bear any responsibility for what happened to Icarus? Why or why not? The next slide is a video. This is a short video, and it's a version of Icarus and Daedalus. And then after you're done, you're just going to do a quick, give me 3 differences between the video and the written story. And you're going to tell me which one was easier to understand and why. Why was one of them easier than the other? Or were they both equal? Was there not one that was easier? So if you just click on the YouTube video, well, maybe there it goes. It'll play right here in the screen, and then you can just make a full screen if you like. There you go. That's this week's assignment. Good job. For those of you who have been keeping up with the assignment so far, I do have a couple of people who have not signed up for BrainPop yet and have not done the assignment in BrainPop. So if you have not yet done your BrainPop assignment, when you go to BrainPop, if you it's right here. Open up BrainPop and then come to the top and you hit enter code. You can type in the code for my class, and then I think one was Froth 277. No. Okay. All right. Well, whatever the code was, you enter it, and then you click create new account. Type in your information. If you already have your account ready, most of you should, because you did it for science. You just sign in with your username and password, and then after you're signed in, it'll give you the option to enter my code from your sign-in page, and then you just add my class. There's only one assignment there, and it's about inventions and entrepreneurship. I know we've been talking a lot about this because this is what our unit is. It's all about why are inventions important. We are going to talk more in depth on inventions and why inventions are important next week. I think that's it for today. I hope you're all doing well. I miss you all terribly. Feel free to email me if you have any questions or concerns. I will get back to you as soon as possible as you email me. I love hearing from y'all, so don't feel like you're bothering me at all. Alright, bye.